Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn how to make this application about having a username and a password, and when you write them correctly, it takes you to another screen where you can make whatever, like for example a text box, and save your content. First of all, we are going to start with a new project. You can call it anything you want. We called it hide me in the class, but you can call it anything. We cannot leave a space. Then we will press OK, of course. In the first screen, we want a field for the username and a field for the password and an OK button. I'm going to put them now. This is for the username, this for the password, and an OK button. A good idea to have hints so the user can understand what do you want him to enter here in this field. So I can say username, or I can say enter your username, whatever. Here also in the password, we would write password. This button, I would call it, for example, OK or check, whatever. To put everything in the middle, they are now left aligned. To put them in the middle, we go to the screen itself, and here we will find something called align horizontal. I will go here and center everything. This is the first part, which is the design. Now it's time for the coding. I want, when I click this OK button, to check if this and that are equal to the values I want to check. So we are going to go to blocks, and the first step, of course, everything will happen when you click the button. So that's the first step. What would we like to check? We would like to check the content of the two text boxes. So if the content of the text box equals something, we are going to go to logic here, and because we're going to check for two things, we need an and here. Here we will check for the username, and here we will check for the password. So we will get from the logic again if something is equal to something else. In the first one, we want to check for the username, so we want to check the text inside the text box one, which is responsible for the username. We want to make sure if this is equal to whatever you want. I will call it, my username for example is called teach. Now I want to check also for the password, so this time will not take from the text box one, we are going to take it for the password text box one. The same also here, we are going to check for the text inside. Sorry, I forgot to put equal like this one. We can duplicate this, remove what we don't want, what we want, and then give it a password. I would call my password ABC. If both of them are true because of the and, it is going to do whatever we want here. What if they are not right? We want to do something else. That's why we need actually to add an else here. In case this is right, it should open the other screen. If not, it should say sorry, this is wrong. To do that, we have to add something called a notifier here. The notifier is responsible for showing messages. So I will say here, if this is wrong, I want the notifier to say, for example, show me a message that says wrong username or password. The title of this message is up to you, but I would say, for example, warning, error, whatever. Sorry. What would you call the button that's by the end of the message? You can say, for example, OK. That's everything for the false, wrong username and password. How about the right one? The right one is going to take me to another screen. So, of course, now we have just one screen. To add another, we will go click add a screen. We will call it screen 2 or whatever. we will press OK. It will take me to the other screen. We're going to do the design part. So here we need actually a big text box and a save button, for example. Okay, you can put this button in the top here or at the bottom, it's up to you. So we will go here and add a text box. This text box we want it to be white, so we will go here to the width and say fill the parent, whatever the size of the screen I want you to fill it. But for the height, it's a good idea to make it, for example, 350. It's a good size because we need to leave a space here for the save button. I will drag the button here and call it save. That's everything for this part, but we need actually to save a file. That's why we need a file control also. It is not here in the first group because this is called user interface, but it's something related to the storage. That's why we're going to find it here. Drag this to here. You will not see anything here because it appears under the app here or under the screen because it is non-visible as he called it in the App Inventor. We're going to code everything now. Now we want, when we save, click save, we want to save everything here to a file. How to do that? We're going to go to blocks first. It is empty because this is the new screen. Everything also will start here when we click the button. I will say here that I want to save a file. How to save a file? From file here, there is a function to save file. I will drag it. What would we like to insert into the file? We would like actually to write everything here. So we will take from text box 1. Text box 1 dot text. This is what will be written inside the file. What would you call the file? It's up to you. I will call it my file, but it's anything. Now this is the first part which saves. But if you run the program like that, it will save for real, but it will not load. Every time you will run the program, you will not see anything. So we want actually to run it automatically whenever we start the screen. When the screen initializes, we want to load everything from the text file or from the file we saved. So we are going to call also from file here. There is something called the read from. He asks you read from which file. Those should be typical because this is the file it will save to, and this is the file it will read from. So any change here would make a problem. This is the second part, which just reading from the file, but they are not yet put inside the text box. So we are going to call one more thing here in the file also. When we say you got the text, when you got the text here in the initializing, go put it inside the text box. How to do that? We're going to go to the text box and say set. This is why, because we are going to put inside the text box. Set the text box to whatever text you loaded from the file. That's everything. If you run it now, it will work. That's everything for now. If you need any help, just ask me. Thank you for watching.